comes back here. You want to look at your phone and your thing to see any questions, and pass me your iPad so I can read questions. This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. All right, we coming in. It must be a little delay. I'm gonna take this off of Wi-Fi real quick. Our Wi-Fi is not working. Hold one second. Back here. Okay. Okay, this ain't the one. How do you get out of this one? This is part 2. There we go. All right. Let's see. So family, yes, we are here to let's just have some talks, and we just gonna, just do a day talk, ask some questions and all. Yeah, I had to switch out. The Wi-Fi's here in Africa. They claim they got good Wi-Fi and stuff, and I run across a lot of issues. I'm gonna say, y'all, sometimes you gotta give be thankful when you have things, and you may not know how important they are to you, but being thankful. My wife always says that, be thankful. But yeah, we got to be thankful, because man, there's just a lot of things that are different, and sometimes you don't know how important things are until they're gone, or you don't have, or whatever it might be. So yeah, we're back here. We're here in Mombasa, Kenya. And so the first video, I had to get off of that, was having some issues with the Wi-Fi. So now we're back, part 2. And what we want to do is just have an afternoon talk, because tonight we're going to have a live, and it's going to be on an interesting topic of our view of Tanzania. So I'll probably repeat that there, because we only got 34 people to chat. Yeah, welcome back everybody, as everybody's coming back in. Okay. You said she's coming? All righty. And so, for those who want to ask questions, we can answer questions. There again, tonight we are having our opinions of Tanzania, and then tomorrow we're going to have a couple other topics, one other topic we'll go live with. Greetings, I movement. Greetings, Creole from Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, okay. What's the temperature there, Creole, in Jacksonville, Florida? I heard it got down to like the 30 degrees or so. Out here today, it's probably sitting around close to 90 degrees, sunny, beautiful out today. We're sitting right out here. For those, we're sitting right here outside on our balcony in our hotel room. You get to see the Indian Ocean. Oh, today is 80 degrees out in Florida. Okay, all right, okay. Out in Jacksonville, okay. Good morning, everybody. Yes, it's come back in. Meru says, hi, Serenity.
Hi.
Yeah. So we're gonna answer some questions or whatever. But let me throw a topic out there to you all here. I know the New Year's approaching, and I know a lot of us think, that one day out of the year is very important of new beginnings and away with the old. Yeah, it's beautiful out here, yeah. But, so we're fast approaching the first beginning of the year. It's been many years that I got out of, just looking at the years, even though, calendar shows that, we're moving forward in time. And we sometimes think that time can last forever. And we sometimes judge what's in the past. Like many people are saying, 2020 was a bad year. 2020 was a good year. Um, and there's so many things you can pick out being good. Austin, Texas, 64 degrees, all right. Um, yeah, it is beautiful out here. And I think I don't know how much delay we got. Some people are still responding with the weather. How's the pandemic in your African travels? Hey, that's a good topic. We can answer that question. We are back in Kenya, and we just left Tanzania. I always get that wrong. Tanzania. I'd rather just stick with Tanzania. I've been saying it for 50-something years, Tanzania. But we're back to the masks. And our experience with it, we talk about Mombasa, our first day here in Mombasa, was getting used to putting back on the mask. How did you feel about that, babe?
It's very hot and humid here, and so going for so many days without the mask and then putting it back on, it felt suffocating. And the thing about it is that it's really lax here. So you see a lot of people who have it down under their chins, or they're wearing them loosely.
I think most people are taking it seriously here, though. They're making you wash your hands. They're making you sanitize your hands. They're making you wear your mask.
They're taking your temperature, but it's not as rigid and serious as it was in Rwanda, because there, if you tried to enter a building without washing your hands, you would be turned around. And here, we've passed by many buckets of water and soap, and plenty of people do. So that's why I think it's a little bit more lax.
Yeah, last night, for instance, we went out to eat. We met some brothers and sisters on the plane flying here from Tanzania, as they say. But me and brother was talking on the airplane, and it was good to meet them. They're from New York City, and hopefully I'll get to film them because they got a great story. They've been here for about 5 years now, and so we went out to dinner last night. But on the way coming back, because they got a curfew here at 10 o'clock, and so so time kind of went over past the time, because I guess the restaurant was trying to accommodate us and a couple other couples, but then it came around 9:45, and they started saying, we gotta go. And
because they needed to get their workers home.
They need to get workers home because curfew set it as at 10 o'clock. And so when we walked outside of the restaurant, got, called for our Uber, and cars are just flying. Were they flying or what?
They were flying.
I'm like, why are these? Didn't even dawn on me. Why are these cars speeding down the road so fast? And then I'm like, oh, curfew. So we got in an Uber car, and so I had made mention of it. And so the Uber driver's like, yeah, 10 o'clock. And I was like, well, will the cops stop you? And he's like, yeah. If you're out, they can stop you, ask where you're going. So you can take care of the super chats that are coming through. And so he's like, yeah, so, he takes off and cars are speeding, passing us by. And I'm like, man, is it this serious that they, you got to be home at like 10 o'clock on the dot or what? And he said, yes, it's serious. You can get stopped and the cops are probably going to ask you for money, whatever. So he got us here, and I gave him a little extra because I said, if you get stopped, here's some little bribe money or whatever they call it, cops going to request. So, but yeah, so it's, we're back to the usual using these masks, and we loved Tanzania, and not having to wear the mask. How did you feel about it? Because you're a mask wearer. I mean, you in that area of wanting to be safe and wear the mask, and
it was very liberating.
And she didn't wear her mask. Why not?
I said I was going to, but I think the heat and humidity had something to do with it. But then just seeing, and we'll get into this probably more tonight, but
yeah, we will.
Just seeing how free everybody was just walk right on into the freedom.
Yeah, so yeah, we're back to this right here, you know, and we had to take a COVID test and come back from Kenya. But like there again, we'll talk about, you know, some of the things about Tanzania tonight. But
Let's do our super chat.
yeah, what you got? Go ahead.
Thank you, Maximilian, for the donations and support. And hi from Atlanta.
Okay, read what he says. Yeah.
He says, "What's up from Atlanta? Positive vibes."
What's up, ATL? Everything is good. Yes, everything's good. We're just chilling, family. We're having a good time out here in Mombasa. It's definitely, the weather is warmer here than the northern Nairobi. Nairobi is cooler. You like the weather there, don't you, Nairobi?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the weather in Nairobi. So the temperature right now is 88 degrees and it is 68% humidity and feels like 99 degrees. And the sun is shining.
And I love it. I love it. On to our next question. Can you read it?
You said we
Yeah. Okay, so
Is the COVID test required from Kenya when entering Tanzania? No. You do not need a COVID test to get into Tanzania.
well, hold up. You don't, unless you leave Rwanda, who's going to require you a COVID test to leave.
To leave the country of Rwanda.
Which we could not understand. Why in the world we go into a country that doesn't even has a disregard for this whole COVID thing, and you requiring us to take a test to leave? So you leaving Rwanda, you got to take a test, no matter where you going. They're gonna get that money. That's real talk right there. And that's not trying to throw anything on Rwanda. It's just how they're doing business.
They're being very cautious.
Yep. Most definitely. So yeah, but we're here in Mombasa, family. We're here in Mombasa in Kenya. You know, right down here on the Indian Ocean. We went to what's the museum we went to today?
Fort Jesus.
Went to Fort Jesus. Jesus. And what was interesting about Fort Jesus, baby, to you?
Just the history of the Portuguese and how the Arabs came in, and then how the British came in and colonized Kenya until 1963, I think it was.
Yeah, they got their independence in 1963. Yeah. It's many people don't even know about the slave history here on the east of Africa. Most people only know about the Atlantic slave trade, but they have a very interesting story that they share of how slavery was here in Africa, on the east of Africa, and to know that that the Portuguese came in, the Arabs came in, and then the British came in. So yes, the Arabs fought the Portuguese, and the British fought the Arabs, and each one beat the other one out. Of course, continuing with slavery, and so they try to make it seem like the Portuguese didn't have slavery, but I asked a question because he made a comment. Our guide said the Portuguese came in and they built a fort because they did not want to have the outside influence, and they want to be on the water to have a port or what have you. Anytime you have a fort, you're trying to protect something. You don't want others coming in. And so he said that the Portuguese came in, set up shop, and the Africans were in the jungles. I said, hold on. The Africans wasn't in no daggone jungle. The Africans was right here on the shores because it's a food source. It's a waterway. They were traveling. He says, yeah. I said, so don't make it seem as though that the Portuguese just came in to set a fort up and didn't have slaves. He said, well, they brought in the Africans to help build the fort, and they gave them food. I said, so were you telling me the Africans were starving? Africans have been around for tens of thousands of years. What did they need food from the Portuguese for? So he chuckled. Because I guess he never thought about it. they working for food. They had food. Wow, look, see all these daggone fruit trees and everything all around. They had animals, everything. No, the Portuguese put the Africans into slavery as well. Then the Arabs came in from Oman, he said, Oman region, and then they put the Africans into slavery. Then the Brits came in and fought against the Arabs, who was saying that they wanted to end the slavery that was going on, but they continued it. So, you know, there's always these different stories that are being told, but it doesn't matter. You know, everybody's hands are dirty, ain't nobody's hands clean. And so, what's interesting, what else was interesting? Serenity, what did you find out interesting about the where we went this morning at Fort Jesus?
Well, we kind of already knew that Arabs have slaves, but how people fought over the fort for like defense mechanisms and all that stuff was kind of interesting to me. From the Portuguese to the Arabs to the British, they all wanted that one spot, but you never really hear about the Africans fighting back for that fort that's on their land. So it was interesting to me that way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we don't hear the stories of any fighting from the Africans. Oh, it was just like the people just came in and just took the Africans and just left, you know, we just went, you know, okay, with the program. Now, he also mentioned that, you know, a lot of the chiefs played a part in the selling off of the Africans. He said there was many of chief part of villages that will bring up their people in from deep in the jungles to bring them in, and then all of a sudden they be brought into slavery. And so, you know, it's just the story that they tell is interesting. Then what, you know, when you can research through the hands of people that might be from us, and where it's a story told by the Europeans that I could tell, and so it was just interesting. What else stood out to you?
Me or Mom?
Mom.
Just the history of it. I like seeing the architecture. I like the story of it.
Thanks again, Maximilian. Has anybody ever told you that you sound like Kevin Hart? No. I don't sound like no Kevin Hart. I don't sound like Kevin Hart. What are you talking about, man? No, I don't sound like no Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart doesn't have any bass in his voice. I got a little bass in my voice, so okay.
I tell you what other thing that I enjoyed is that after we left, we walked through Old Town Mombasa, which was considered Portuguese city. And we found out that a lot of Indians were brought over as slaves for the British. And so that's why there's so much of an Indian influence that's here now in Mombasa. And
let me know.
even though there are a lot of Muslims here in Mombasa, in Old Town, the Muslims don't speak anything but Swahili. So even the Indian guy we talked to, he's Indian, is Muslim, but does not speak Arabic. He just, because he's Muslim, he reads Arabic, but he doesn't speak it. So I thought that was interesting.
So if y'all listen real close right now, we'll be quiet and listen. You hear the singing. Well, actually, it's recite. It's not singing. It's the recite of the Quran, reciting. So I guess it's maybe another call for prayer that's going on. But he did say that this is a heavy populated area when it comes to Muslims because of the. Did you just say that? Because of the Arabs who came in from the Oman region area and beat the Portuguese out, and they entered the Arabs intermingled with the Africans, married them, and started having families, and it became a mixture, which we know today as the Swahili people, he said. That we thought that was kind of interesting.
Interesting.
You know? And so, yes, the Old Town, he was just sharing that the mixture of the people are there, that are all throughout Kenya, or even I'm quite sure over through to the east of Africa, that
And
you
along
can
the
find
coast.
along the
Along the
coastal.
coast.
There are is heavy populated Muslims. Shout out to our one of the donations that came in, Creole Gal, for your giving. We appreciate you for that, most definitely. So really, what questions somebody's asked?
I've got a question.
Okay.
Bernadette Baker wants to know about an infected person coming into Rwanda not being found out until leaving. No, when you enter Rwanda, and for us, they started doing the test in the airport. So you've got to have a test 120 hours or 5 days prior to entering Rwanda. Then as soon as you get to the airport, they do a second test. You have to go to a government-issued hotel, stay there for 24 hours until you get the results of your COVID test back. Then you're able to leave that hotel and carry on and do what you plan to do in the country. And then prior to leaving Rwanda, then you have to have a third COVID test. So if you're traveling to Rwanda, you're going to have 3 COVID tests.
So here in Mombasa, back to Mombasa, and we're gonna do probably a video the last day before my wife and Serenity heads back to the USA, or the DSA, Divided States of America, and do a whole review of the 3 countries that we've been to. And so, and just kind of share, man, the likes and the likes of the how they liked it, and the unusualness of things that they saw that kind of stood out. Because I don't like to say dislikes, but we're gonna get into those conversations here. But we're in Mombasa though, and Mombasa has a heavy influence of what group of people, babe? Too, besides Muslim religion that's heavily here. What group of people influences really heavy here in Mombasa?
A lot of Indian influence here. A lot. To the point where it's very difficult to find a restaurant that does not have a significant Indian portion of their menu.
And it was told to us too that the Brits brought Indian slaves here from India in this region here to build the railway to, where was it, to Nairobi? Uganda, that's right, Uganda. And so there's a history there told that there were a lot of Indians that were brought here in this region from the British, because we know the Brits, they went around the globe as well and controlled and dominated a lot of countries. And India was one part that they did control. But they brought a lot of Indians over here, slaves, over in to this area, and it's heavily influenced food-wise by Indians. I mean, to the point where, can we find really local African food?
It was very difficult.
I'm looking, we're researching, trying to find restaurants that might be, because what we thought Swahili was strictly just African, but not what was explained to us. And so, but yeah, Indians is a heavy influence here. All right, next question we have. Go ahead.
What's the Mzungu percentage?
The Mzungu percentage? I
Here
don't
in
know.
Mombasa.
I don't know.
I don't think we've really seen any Mzungus here in Mombasa.
I have.
At the restaurant we did last night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're here. I mean, they're here. Most definitely. The numbers, I don't know. You can always tell when you go to the airport, because that's where you find them congregating at. But those are spread out. You look at my quick little video that I did in the airport when we were living Tanzania. Then you're gonna, Zanzibar. Then you get to see how many white folks actually go vacation at Zanzibar. It was 99% of them, and only that 1% of us leaving out. We like to say thanks to Shell Stewart. Mrs. Go Black, when you go home and decide to meet back up with your hubby in Africa, will you be okay with the COVID-19 vaccine if it's forced?
That is tough. I really, really, really do not want to get the vaccine. Really and truly.
Yeah, you know, if y'all watch one of my other videos, hey, there's many ways around it. You just got to figure out what you got to do.
And I'm going to figure it out.
And we got our plan already in place. Now, if you want to know our plan, it's going to cost you $500 US dollars to know our plan, because we just can't put our air out there, put our business out there like that in the street. No, and $500 wouldn't even be worth to give up. I mean, what was $500 going to do for us, you know, to give up what we going to plan on doing? But no, seriously, you know, you got to think very wisely when it comes to vaccines, immunizations, because there are ways out there. I did a video, I think, on that, on ways that you can get around immunizations and things like that.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Afro Genesis US. Mrs. Go Black, are you looking forward to your return trip to Africa? And if so, where would you like to go? Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to my return trip.
Why?
And I would like to visit the West. I would like to visit Sierra Leone, Senegal, Ghana, Liberia. That would be hopefully the next trip.
I think it will be, instead of what we were planning on going. It'd probably be that, so we can just knock that out the way. And that probably
It'll be a shorter trip, too.
It'll be February, yeah, so it's not gonna be so long. So February, we'll probably be over in Sierra Leone. We wanted to go ahead and kind of do it with Dinus, who's got a trip he's planning out there during that time, but she's gonna be back in February. So we might just go ahead and just knock it out and be done with it. Yeah, so. Other questions? Cerny, what you got? Please put a question mark after your question, if it is a question, so it's quick, it's easy and quick for us to be able to spot it. Yes, Zanzibar is Tanzania.
I have one.
Okay.
Mrs. Go Black, are you looking forward to your return trip to Africa? And if so,
Sure asked
I
that.
just answered that one.
you just did.
I just did.
Yeah, Giselle.
Okay.
Hey, Giselle, how you doing? Yes, she says, Go Black. Make sure your wife don't take the vaccine.
Period.
Yeah,
Giselle, no.
she's not. Y'all.
Okay, I have a question for me.
Yes, speak up, please.
Daughter, if you could go to any other part of Africa, where would it be? Nigeria. I want to go to Nigeria.
Why Nigeria?
I took a DNA test and that popped up as a big percentage for me. I'd like to know my culture, my roots.
Okay, so you know, and I share this, and she already knows. I've already shared it right here. We are not from countries that the Europeans have created. Okay, those are just lines, and I try to explain that to people here on the east of Africa. When they try, you know, once I explain to them that you are not the country that the European have created. We are migrating people. Okay, so if the DNA is true, if at all, then it will pick up where the majority of those groups of people are residing currently right now. So the region happens to be Nigeria, where they picked up the DNA in her DNA. I see it as we are all people, and we want to get caught up into the different tribes and things like that, which is all right. It has its place, you know, and nothing wrong with it. But we should never lose focus. The first and foremost thing is that we are Africans. So yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do you ever get bored traveling with your parents? It depends. Okay, yes, I do a lot, but
I
it's
don't know
like
how you could get bored, because
okay,
it's always
you
something
always
to
pick
do.
like museums or just like photo ops. Like I'm still a teenager. I like to have fun, like festivals, but not the kind of festivals they like. kind of festivals I like. But I mean, they try to find fun things for me, so
Yes,
I'm not
we do.
always
Yes,
bored.
we do.
Edgar TV, go black to Africa. Why you didn't spend much time in Tanzania? We love you guys. Hey, because of the limited time that I have with my fam here, that my wife had put together the whole thing to be able to crunch it up in the lot of time that we have. But I'm coming back to Tanzania, so I'm going to be back to Tanzania within a month. That's where I'm laying my hat down at, as far as sitting still because of this COVID thing and seeing which direction this vaccine is going. Because Tanzania is the only country, to my knowledge, who hasn't accepted this COVID thing. You don't need the test. They said that God has healed the country and everybody's doing business as usual. Let me share this with you too, because I was talking to a brother today about this whole thing about the COVID. Because many people are saying it's a money thing, it's a money pit, it's an opportunity to make money. And we have to understand that these African countries, as well as other countries to include America, you get money based upon the cases that you have, either by the WHO, the World Health Organization, or by other entities that they will go ahead and give you money. Now, we do know they operate a little different when it comes to money here in Africa. And there are those who do take the money and do whatever they so please with it. President Magufuli turned down that offer, so that because of the fact that he is a man who has strong strong faith, to where he was like, nah, we are going to believe that this virus is not what it is, and we're moving forward. There is not no large, big cases we're dealing with. And so I got much respect for that. That this man went out there on a limb to thumb his nose at the Western world and said, nah. And so I told the brother today, I said, you think about it right now. All the people who's lost their jobs, losing money, people like himself, because he is a guide for the so-called Fort Jesus here, and the whole tourist attractions are basically nil to none. It was basically empty up in there, wasn't it? And so you got countries, because of the sake of money, are causing your own people to suffer because of the Western world's talking about COVID. Tanzania did differently. They said, no, everybody out there is doing their thing. We're going to talk about that tonight because it's a beautiful thing. So I'll be back to Tanzania because I got to watch what's going on.
Tangela Jones says, we've chosen Rwanda as our new home. My husband and I are looking forward to meeting you guys and the unapologetic nomads. That'd be awesome. Rwanda's beautiful.
Who said
Rwanda's
that?
beautiful. Tangela Jones.
Okay. Yeah.
Will we be going to South Africa?
Yep. We'll be visiting all the countries, family. We're going to be knocking them out. 54 countries we want to go visit and see, I have a little bad taste in my mouth going there. But, yes, we will be visiting there.
Because we can still learn from there.
Oh, yes.
You can still learn.
Oh,
Brunette
yeah.
Latina says, did you find a house to buy or do you plan to build your own
Where?
in East Africa?
I haven't gotten into really the crux of getting all the legality parts out the way as far as owning and buying, because of, like I said, I'm with my family now, so this has just been about, going around with them as a family, and just doing all the things my wife has on her list for us to enjoy, go see, and stuff like that. So it really has been very little business, but we'll talk about who I ran into tonight, and if you are wanting to move to Tanzania, there are 2 places that foreigners can buy property at. So yeah.
TA says, good morning, family. Do you think that if a marriage is in its last leg in the U.S., moving to Africa might help preserve it?
Moving is not going to resolve any issue you have in your marriage. It's like you have an anger problem and you think you're going to move to another place and your anger problem is going to go away. Where you are, you best fix it because you're just going to carry it over. It's like people who turn around and have a baby, think a baby's going to fix their marriage, problems don't go away. So it just, in my opinion, my thing is resolve the issue where you stand. That's my opinion. What's yours?
Moving is very stressful, even if you're moving to the motherland. Moving in and of itself is stressful because you're dealing with movers and you're dealing with just being in a new place. So I definitely agree with my husband. Fix it before you come.
Yeah, I mean, and y'all gonna have, I got a video that we're gonna be doing here, my wife's last day, of you know, how the one remains and another one goes, you know, and how do you deal with that? Marriage better be solid, you know. If not, you know, it'll crumble and fall. Time tests everybody too.
Shell Stewart, did you all take the African ancestry or something else like 23andMe? Yes, we all did. We did. And
We took the African ancestry first, and then my wife had this wild hair that she just wanted to even just do a different test to see what the differences would be, even though 23andMe is different in what they're out searching and stuff like that. But there again, you know, yeah, we did both of them, you know, did both of them. I like African ancestry.
how did you enjoy the food? Anything more delicious than you expected?
I'm assuming they're talking about Mombasa.
Mombasa, maybe. I wouldn't say for me there's anything more delicious than I expected so far here in Mombasa, but the ice cream is good.
It is.
The ice cream is good.
Yeah.
Bernadette, I agree. The DNA is not accurate. I know. Because you can have a sibling and you would think that yours and your siblings would be exactly the same, and it's not. So.
And that happened within her family too.
Which is the reason I wanted to take another one besides African ancestry, just to compare it to my brothers. And it's like,
Two total different answers. Would you leave America, would you leave America before they shut the borders down? Are you worried about the flights being limited due to the mandate vaccines? I guess that's your question.
I am not worried about that right now. I'm keeping track of what's going on with COVID back in the U.S., but I'm not going to expend energy thinking about that now. We'll cross that bridge.
She's got obligations and responsibilities she's taking care of back in the U.S. too, so have to be mindful of that too.
How much is the COVID test at the airport in Mombasa? There is no COVID test at the airport in Mombasa. To enter Kenya, you have to have a COVID test within 96 hours of entering the country.
They might be talking about if you was to exit Mombasa.
From what I've seen, we do not need to take a test to exit Kenya.
Yeah, family. So, you know, but yeah, Africa's beautiful. Y'all can look at some more questions. Africa is beautiful. You know, we've enjoyed all the countries, all the differences, all the love, all the. It's beautiful. You know,
It
it's
is.
beautiful, and you got a greater appreciation of Africa since the first time being here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It makes me want to visit all 54 countries because as varied as the states are in the U.S., I know it's going to be even greater differences going from one country to another, and we've seen that already just with the 3 countries where we've been. So I'm excited to see the others for sure. Giselle says, what is the traditional dish that they have?
Let me say this real quick. Thanks a lot, Dale Bonds, for your contribution. Thanks for all, he says, thanks for all the information that you have shared with us on your journey. I have learned a lot. Well, hey, thanks a lot. That means a lot. Real quickly, somebody want to see the view again. And this is just off our balcony, but this here at the Hotel City Blue Hotel. And this is the Indian Ocean in the kind of the Bay Area. You can see the little babies out there playing in the pool, having their fun, which is good. So, all right, come on back to the question.
Traditional dish. Looking at the different menus, I can't really say that there is a traditional dish here in Mombasa yet.
If anybody lives here in Mombasa, Kenya, please tell us the traditional dishes. And maybe, because when we was in Nairobi, we went to, our guide took us, and we said we wanted to go a straight up Kenyan restaurant. And so we did the same thing here, and the guide referred us to a place called the Blue Room. But it's
Indian.
It's got pizza, it's got cheeseburgers.
Italian.
And I'm like, okay, where is the African traditional food? And we still haven't seen it yet. So if you're from Mombasa, please let us know what's the traditional dish here. When we was in Nairobi, they had a couple of dishes, whatever, when we were in the restaurant. I can't remember the names of them.
Giselle, right now we're in Mombasa, Kenya. We left Zanzibar yesterday, and we're now in Mombasa. We'll be here for 2 more days.
Yeah, we'll be here 2 more days.
Oh, okay, the main traditional dish in Tanzania. So, interestingly, because there's so many Indians in Tanzania, it's a lot of Indian dishes there. We did find out that there's some Italian influence too. So there's some Italian dishes that we saw on every menu there in Zanzibar and Dar es Salaam. So I'm not quite sure. They do the grilled corn. I think it's called mazindi. That's common. But a lot of Indian dishes that you would see in India are very, very popular. Like here for breakfast, the breakfast today it had saffron fried cabbage. That was very good. It had string beans in it. And there were baked beans. There was an Indian bread. There were boiled parsley potatoes.
Guy making omelets.
Omelets made to order. And
Toast and
chicken sausage.
Celeste, thank you for contributing to our channel. Did the 2 different tests that you took show the same results or close to the same info? I think you're talking about the DNA test. The African ancestry broke it down to what tribe, what was your tribe that you came from. And so that was the plus thing that I liked. That's the thing I liked about the African ancestry. The 23andMe was the one that kind of broke down the ethnicities, I guess, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
What is, are you, me and Serenity, we all black up in here. Nah, but it just showed Miss Go Black had some Portuguese blood, a little Portuguese blood in her, so we laughed at her and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
someone asked, what are you doing in Mzungu countries in huge numbers? Can I speak on that?
Yeah,
Or-
right, yeah.
Just my opinion, it's not their countries, they're just living in it or visiting. They don't really have much influence on the culture or anything that goes in the country. They might have a few buildings here and there, but it's not their main area, per se, for them. It's mostly African culture as you know it, African stores, African food still. It's just white people want to experience our culture and learn about it. So
She
it's
says,
not theirs.
she says that because she saw some white girls
With braids.
with braids in their hair,
Cornrows.
cornrows in their hair, and she was just like, "What? How they gonna
I
take
kind
our
of got
hairstyle?"
frustrated a little bit.
She
but
didn't like that, so.
I didn't.
But I explained to her. I said, you know what? We have always been an interesting culture of people.
Mhm.
You know, they've taken away when we sing, singing, dancing, spirituality, our innovative. What's the word I'm looking for?
Innovative.
Innovative minds. I mean, a lot of you, if anybody knows the history of Kemet, you know, everything was taken out of Kemet when it came to the sciences, when it came to the medical, when the medical, astrology, when it came to, maths, when it came to the earth, and everything was taken out of Africa. And so, don't think for one bit because the textbooks say they invented this and they did that and came up with this and that, that it came from them. It didn't. You know, we were just talking last night about, was it Huna? How is that?
Hakuna Matata.
I couldn't make it right. Hakuna Matata. No words. Do you know white folks just here in the last, once Lion King came about and stuff, they started saying, no worries, dude, no worries. And that's what it means. And being in Tanzania, that's all they say all the time. So it was like, these words, sayings, and spiritualities, these things that we see the Europeans are doing, it came out of Africa. It really did. And so I said that I was going to start doing some interviews of white folks that are here so that you can hear reasons why they're coming, what they've learned, and what it is that they, what do they find so interesting about Africa. I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
I have a comment. Someone said, hey Serenity, I'm Italian and I have braids. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people wearing braids. It's just, we have certain cultures that we've noticed with black people. I don't know if you're black or white, but for black people we have certain cultures, and sometimes seeing other cultures try and be us or try to make it better or claim that it's theirs frustrates me a little bit. But if you're black, I feel like braids just are beautiful on black people. They're beautiful on white people. It's just black people have a different way of culture, braids. I don't really know how to say it. But we were the main start. And people now are claiming that they did it and they claim it and everything, and it's like, that's frustrating to me. I'm not saying you can't do it, but when people start to claim it, that's my issue.
Thanks a lot, Afrogenesis. He said for your giving. Learning much from you, Go Black family. Definitely helping with my new channel. Much love. Yeah, hey, your new channel. Is that your new channel, Afrogenesis? Please, hey, I'm not one like some other channels. You mention your name and they go ahead and delete it. Hey, if you got channels, put it in the chat. If you have a business, put it in the chat. We should be supporting and helping each other. When I'm watching arguments go on in the chat, what a waste of time. What a waste of time.
We should be building each other up.
We should be building. You should be up here putting in the chat. Hey family, I got a business here. Check me out at such and such. Hey family, this is what Go Black Africa is about. For us, by us, with us. So yes, Afrogenesis, if that's your channel, y'all go check them out.
Federari Fitness, did any European nation pay repatriations for slavery and colonialism?
Did it who? Did anybody ever pay?
Did any European nation pay reparations for slavery and colonialism?
Oh, that's a funny one. If you can find anywhere that they have, please let me know. I'll be the first in line to be able to get that from whenever that was done. Not that I've ever heard of. Now the sad part is Africans are repaying the Europeans for taking their land, that which was ours, and paying these folks money back. Blows my mind.
We plan to go to Diani Beach tomorrow. Have you witnessed any crime since you've been in Africa?
No, we've been told, watch your phones, they'll snatch them. I was told that today. Was that today?
Mm-hmm. Watch your purse.
Watch the snap, but we haven't, witnessed any crime.
I have a question. Mrs. Go Black, how do the Africans treat you? Are you seen as using the?
That's interesting. I've gotten so many people to say, you look like we do. And a lot of people have come up to me and spoken in Swahili, thinking that I speak Swahili. And I just find that interesting. Even last night when we went out to dinner, one of the guests was Ethiopian, and she said, you look either Rwandan or Ethiopian. And I hear that a lot. So yes, people have definitely come up to me speaking Swahili, thinking that I am one of them.
It's about education too, because I've been hit so many times when people are asking, where are you from? Where are you from? And I always respond,
I'm from Africa.
I'm from Africa. I live in the U.S. And they're like, oh, okay. I say, no. Let me start trying to explain it to them. And I break it down. We all from Africa. We were taken out of Africa, And they're like, oh. So then I had one guy there in Tanzania that he said, okay, I understand. My brother from another mother. I said, no. We have the same mother. And then he said, oh, same mother, same father. Exactly. We family. And so it just takes that, to get the people to understand that just because I speak, a different language does not make me anything different. Unless this is different, then yes, you are not then African. If you want to surrender this and call yourself whatever, okay, no problem. Then that will be, so yeah.
Yaya Ori, you're right, pilau. We did find out that pilau rice is one of the main dishes here on the coast.
Yeah, that is. That's
Pilau
true.
rice and seafood, yes.
And I like it too. It's good.
And
Different seasoning.
more inland, like in Nairobi and Rwanda for sure, ugali is very common, but we have not seen ugali on any menu that I've looked at in Dar es Salaam or here in Mombasa. But pilau rice is very common. So thank you, Yaya. You are absolutely right. And lots of curry. Lots of curry because there are a lot of Indian dishes. Yeah.
Question. Have you seen any mayonnaise? Yes, I had some today.
It didn't come automatically. She had to ask for it.
What you want mayonnaise for?
Fries. I don't like ketchup on fries. It's too sweet now.
When did you start putting mayonnaise on your fries?
Well, it started with Chick-fil-A sauce, and I stopped liking ketchup, and then it went to mayonnaise when I didn't have Chick-fil-A sauce. So, ketchup's too sweet now.
What time are you going to be on tonight, Eastern time? Whatever time you see on there, I had 9 o'clock, we will do a film. It's going to be 8 hours, Eastern time's 8 hours behind, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
8 hours behind. So it's going to be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Safari? Yes, we've been to the safari, Harold. We've been the Masai Mara, what is it?
Masai Mara.
Masai Mara.
And we dipped into the Serengeti.
Yeah.
Shirley Greer, will you continue your videos so we can continue to be a part of the trips?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I'm still gonna film. I'm still gonna film. That's my job now. You know, is trying to enlighten us brothers and sisters out there that are, you know, maybe not have the education or, you know, want to see for themselves somebody who looks like them, that are out there on the ground showing the countries, giving a view, opinion about a place that you know, I visited. So yes, I'm definitely going to continue.
Bernadette Baker says the yamachoma is Kenya's unofficial traditional dish, roasted or barbecued meat. Yes, we have seen plenty of that on skewers. Yes, you are right. Thank you.
Or whole pieces,
Mm-hmm.
like barbecue. Okay, Giselle says, wife said they had to take 3 COVID tests. What were the locations that you had to take the COVID test for, Rhonda? Well, the locations, okay, the 3 tests is before you leave out of a country to go. Then once you get to the country, you have to take a test at the...
They do it at the airport.
At the airport now. It was, the first time I went to Rwanda, it was at the hotel I stayed in. And then when you leave, they have a location that is where you would go. Several locations they have.
I have a question.
Yes.
How did Mrs. Go Black internally like the way people dressed in Tanzania? Very modest, just like them. You want to go first?
Very good. You know, they have a piece of fabric called a kanga. And the kanga is just fabric that you use either to wrap around your head, your shoulders, or your waist. And they were very, very common in Stone Town. And I took a picture of a sign, and it said, because we are a modest country, we appreciate it if you would cover your shoulders and your knees with the kanga to respect our beliefs. You know, you see the ladies just dressed so modestly, and I liked seeing that for Serenity because I wanted her to hopefully appreciate the fact that, you know, there is beauty in dressing modestly.
I mean, yeah, I liked it because I didn't feel out like some type of experiment. I know a lot of people were commenting on why I was wearing long sleeves all the time. Like, that's just something I do, not for religious reasons, not because of anything you might think. It's just I like wearing modest clothing. It's nothing wrong with that.
Sometimes
Sometimes.
she argues sometimes.
Sometimes I argue. Like, I always wanted to wear pants, but like now it's kind of like I've chilled with that. It's not gonna happen. So I'm down with skirts and everything. But I mean, I don't see why people need to argue and say what you can and cannot wear. It's just something I don't get. But I like wearing skirts and whatever I want to, so.
Yeah, other question here. Do you, from Jaquel Hightower, do you think the media and the World Health Authorities exaggerate the prevalence of mosquito-transmitted diseases in the countries you have visited? I don't know. I haven't done no studies. I don't know no background on it. I couldn't answer that.
Interesting question, though.
Yeah. Try some octopus while you're there.
Ooh, we have seen so much octopus and
No.
squid.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not interested. I've tried it before though, years ago. I'm not interested in it, you know.
No, thank you. I think it was Shell Stewart. I was going through the comments. Cabbage for breakfast. You know, I mentioned today at breakfast that to have cabbage and baked beans and to not have sweets. There was nothing sweet on the menu other than mango juice. And it's so different from what we would experience in the States for breakfast. They had this bread that was round, started with a B, bakhtari. I can't remember the name of it. And it looked like it could have been a donut, but it was not sweet at all. When we were in Zanzibar, they did have yogurt, but the yogurt really wasn't sweet. So yeah, it felt like we were really eating lunch rather than the first meal of the day with the cabbage. It was delicious though.
Yeah. Harold Waterman, we thank you right there for your giving. Appreciate that. We also have Maximilian. Bro, I need to stop micromanaging my business and travel like you. I just have a hard time trusting people to handle my money and business. You know, that's a great observation you have. And maybe if you're that type of person, find the business you don't have to micromanage and you don't have to be there for your money. For instance, you know, being in real estate, you know automatically what they owe you. Rent is due. It's due. We happen to use property managers, except for one, duplex. We do our own with that. But typically, if you are the type that are needing some, you know, a business that you don't have to babysit the money, find that business, you know, because yeah, it's hard to break away from. But nowadays, you know, when I was in a beauty shop business, you know, I had to collect booth rent, you know, but it afforded me the opportunity to be able to still go on my trips because I knew what was due. And at the time, I had my ex at the time, you know, if I was gone, she'd swing by and get it, or somebody that I knew could swing by and get it, or I just had a guy in the shop, a manager, to hold that money. And so, yeah, but now today with the technology, I mean, my brother's in the hair business, and they Cashapp him, his booth rents and stuff like that. So think of some different things out the box of how you can get your money, or you might have to hire you a manager, you know, and that's gonna cost a little bit more money, but it can free you up the time. Also, I was talking to an African yesterday, just telling him how I'm finding Africans are afraid to take a lot of risks in getting out of the small business mindset that they're in because they're only worried about today. And so they're only worried about making that dollar today instead of making investments in yourself, putting your money and making investments for yourself so that then your tomorrows you will have growth that you don't see yet, but it will flourish and come. I use the analogy of planting a seed. Farmers and those who plant seeds, they're not worried about what if it don't grow. They plant it knowing down the road it's gonna grow and I can reap from it. And so that's what I was sharing with the African brother, was that, you know, he needs to think about different ways of building his business up to get him free from being the worker bee. And so I said, you know, hopefully you can get to a place where you stop working for money and let your money work for you. That right there is true entrepreneurship.
Do you want to settle in Mombasa, or are you considering the Kenyan coast?
I'm not sure yet. Like I said, I have to definitely, I'm going to tie in with a couple of people who's going to be able to show me the ropes and educate me on what are the legalities of purchasing land and property.
Obi Freedom Linton, is anyone eating pork during your travels? Are we eating pork, or are we seeing pork on the menu?
I don't eat pork, but have we seen pork?
I don't think we've seen any pork
Except for we was
dishes, like at the breakfasts of the places where we've stayed, no pork dishes.
They got beef sausage and then they had chicken
And
sausage.
today was chicken sausage.
You gotta realize this is a large Muslim population, so you're not gonna find much pork around here. I haven't seen any. Did they have any at the restaurant last night?
I didn't see pork on the menu.
Yeah, I didn't see pork
It was a
on the
big
menu.
menu too.
Yeah.
Giselle, I think you're asking again about the 3 COVID tests. I'm trying to
I
remember
already asked that.
where we took the 3rd COVID test on Rwanda. Where did we go?
We went down there from on the back side of the stadium.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Messiah Jones, you guys look so relaxed. Do you think it's because you're in black majority Africa?
I'm relaxed because I'm on vacation and I am soaking up all this heat because I heard it is snow back where we live. So I am soaking all of this heat and humidity up and sunshine, and it is wonderful.
I'm relaxed either way. I'm not doing anything, so I don't care.
Me, as far as I'm concerned, relaxed. Yes, y'all get to go and see the video of how do you tell your wife you don't want to go back to America. I think I titled it. But you know, it was a huge burden off my shoulders when she just like supported me in that. And we're going to talk about that because I'm not going to say I'm never going to go back because I'm learning not to say never. Of course I'll go back if need be. But I love it here too much. And so it's just one of those things, you know, that I just cannot explain. I've been trying to explain it to you all. I cannot explain it, what it is, what it's like. You have to come experience it for yourself. That's as much as I can say.
Will you learn the language once settled? Absolutely.
Oh,
We
yeah.
are trying
Right now.
to learn Swahili, and every driver who we've had, everybody from the people in reception at the hotels, we're just soaking up, you know, words every day that we're trying to incorporate, even when we speak with each other. So definitely we will be learning the language. Do they have any vegan dishes in Tanzania?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, definitely vegetarian. There were a few vegan options on some menus that we saw. Yeah.
How are you guys getting ready to go back to the cold weather?
I'm already ready.
Serenity loves the cold. She lived
Cold is
in,
my element.
we lived in Milwaukee 12 years.
17.
17
So-
for you, but 12 years of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said, 12
Sorry.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ready to go back to the cold?
I'm prepared to go back to the cold. I've got all my cold gear ready. I love wearing hats. I love scarves. My husband got me some awesome boots that cover my knees. I am ready. I will be ready. I'm definitely going to miss this sunshine and this heat, but yeah.
All right, go black. If you want a chill walk in Mombasa, visit the Mama Ngina waterfront. Okay. We'll make sure to make a mental note of that. Remember that, Mama Ngina,
Mhm.
right there. Okay. Harak Kadi Na Sana. I'm sorry, I messed up. Zanzibar was created by the Sultan, who was kicked out by the Africans out of Vida, Mombasa. That's true. They told us about that today.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Did Serenity fix her broken phone? Go to Nayali. I don't even know how to say that. I hope I said that.
In Yali, yeah.
Nayali Mall. There is a repair shop. I did. Mom's touch helped. Magic touch.
Thank you for asking. Would I go back to Zanzibar? I would. I enjoyed Zanzibar, but I think to go back, we wouldn't necessarily go to the tourist spots,
Right.
but more so, you know, other areas that aren't as heavily touristy, for sure.
Yeah, I hate being in tourist spot. I hate it. Oh, I hate it. Yeah. And then so when they leave, I'm going to be getting in with the locals, so y'all going to be able to see, you know, the perspective on the local side. Even doing some interviews with the locals. We'll do that, you know.
Rocco Ozito. Hi guys, do you guys use sunscreen?
No.
What? Rocco, where you from? You from Europe or what? Rocco?
We're already black. What's wrong with getting blacker?
No, we don't.
Because I've
We do
seen
not
some
use.
black folks, especially from the UK, doing it.
Oh yeah, it's a shame. Ooh, don't get me started on that. But yeah, reason why is because of the ignorance. People put sunscreen on. They do not know that this melanated skin right here is a friend with the sun. The sun is our friend. Okay, let me go ahead and let me break it down a little bit, all right? The melanin that we have, all right, that is created in us is we absorb the sun because that's what this color does, all right? It absorbs the sun, which gives us that vitamin D, all right? The sun is white people's enemy. This is not no lie. This is just facts. That's how they get sunburned. They repel the sun rays, which then hits off their skin, burns them. Ours absorb it. Now people say, I got sunburn and I'm black. Let me ask you, where were you? Because if you were on the sandy beach, and that mirrored glass off of that sand will burn you. It's like a magnifying glass that intensifies the sun rays. But regularly in the sun, off of a beach, no, you are not going to get sunburned. Africans has been around for tens of thousands of years and they don't get sunburned. I've been sitting in that sun in Ghana, which I think the sun is probably 5 feet off the ground, and I didn't get sunburned. So yes, it's the ignorance. I see our Ethiopian sisters, they put turmeric on their skin. They'll go ahead and keep themselves from getting darker. See, this is a self-hate thing that we do. So no, I wouldn't dare wear no daggone sunscreen, let alone bleach my skin and take away the melanin that's supposed to protect you. What's the skin cancer that white folks get that black folks don't get? Or very few?
Like basal cell carcinoma.
Basal cell carcinoma. So, yeah.
What was our experience with the air balloon? It was awesome. It was fantastic. I would recommend if anybody has the opportunity to ride in a hot air balloon to do so. It was beautiful. What are the gun laws in Africa?
Every country's different. Some you can have them as long as you register them, and some they are prohibited. The police, for the most part, I think police are the only ones I think here in Tanzania, Rwanda. No, Rwanda, I think I was told you could have I can't remember. I don't even want to say. I don't know. But every country's different. I know that. I cannot remember. Am I going back to Ghana? Of course I'm going back to Ghana. My wife has not been there. I have to go back there. And also I have family there too, friends. I have some beautiful people that are there. So I say family, my African family that adopted me. Yes, they're there. I will be going back to Ghana.
And we've spoken over the phone, and I'm looking forward to meeting them.
Yeah. And I missed them. I'm gonna tell y'all, I miss Ghana, y'all. I miss Ghana for all it has that is so different that you just don't appreciate it until it's gone.
Obi Freedom Lenton, how is your dietary tract situation eating in all these different countries? Serenity and I are doing fine.
I'm fine.
How are you doing? How's your GI tract?
How's my GI tract?
Right, with eating all these different foods.
Oh, it's good. I mean, it wasn't like when I was in Egypt, boy, and I got the stomach bug, and I was running for days. But here, I have had no stomach issues.
Are you interested in being interviewed on a local TV channel in Kenya?
Of course. I would love to definitely do that.
Did you have a native person to help you count money when buying things? My husband is a mathematician. And he has his money converter in his head, and then to double check himself, he has it on his phone. And no, we have not had anybody with us when it comes to money. He's drilling it into us. Each country that we go to, okay, so the U.S. dollar is such and such, such and such to the Kenyan shilling, or the shillings in Tanzania. So no.
Noah, thank you for your giving. You say it does get cold in Mount Kenya, and see sometimes they get snow. Which countries is it, Kenya or Tanzania? I'm not sure of that question. I mean, you're asking me which country I want to go to or live in. I'm not sure. Oh, well, I know that, hey, it snows in Africa. And if you check out, they even got skiing that's going on in certain mountains in Africa. It's yes, it gets cold in certain parts, higher elevations, closer to, the waters, the coastal lines, it gets hot. So yeah, that's the beauty of Africa. There's no excuse for you to say that you don't want to go to Africa because it's too hot, too cold. It's too country, too city. It has everything wherever you would want to live. All these countries out here, the terrain, the weather, you can find where you can get in and fit in.
Kofi Azuma, yes, this is Mine and Serenity's last week in Africa. Sadly, we must go back. Last week for now.
For now.
Last week for now.
Giselle's asking how's my allergies.
Ooh,
I haven't
good
had.
question.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues.
I think the last time you sneezed, Giselle, he might have sneezed one time in Dar es Salaam.
Yeah, I think I did have a
It
couple
might have been
sneezes.
a dusty area.
But there again too, it could have been either that or somebody's perfume or cologne or something. But the weather, no. And that's the beautiful thing too, family, that I'm recognizing is that really I don't want to force and make a decision of where it really should be a home base. I'm really being very sensitive and being aware of what is calling me to be there. So my body is going to react to certain things, my mind or my spirit, to where then it'll be right there in my face, like this is where you need to be. And currently the COVID virus has made it very easy for Tanzania to be my place to sit down and be still during this COVID while they're going to decide about this vaccines here in the next 2-3 months or whatever.
Noah says, which city do you prefer, Mombasa or Nairobi? We just got here to Mombasa. Is this our first full day?
Yeah.
So, still experiencing it.
I can say this right here. Mombasa feels like I haven't seen the newer parts of Mombasa yet. So coming from the airport we got here, you could tell it just had that old feel.
We need to get out and ride around.
Yeah, so we're going to be getting out and checking out the area. That'll be our day around tomorrow, then run down to the beach and all that. So tomorrow's going to be really cruising around and all that there. Yeah.
Did you ever get to go into Kibera and see the villagers in Nairobi? We went through the Kibera area.
They call the slums?
The slums, that's what they call it.
Yeah, they call that the slums, but we drove through it. But I would like to, I'm walk through it though, because I'm gonna spend once they take off, I'm gonna spend 2 to 3 weeks maybe in Nairobi. Yeah.
Shell, I agree. Swahili is different. When you've learned the so-called Romance languages, Swahili is definitely different it doesn't have any relationship whatsoever with the Romance languages or with English. So it's gonna take a little bit more to start memorizing the words, but we're getting there.
It's that time. Hey, thanks for your giving. Are you able to get clean drinking water in every country you have been to so far? Bottled water. Where was it they said, yeah, don't drink the water?
Here.
Was that here? Don't drink out of the tap water?
Yeah, it was here.
Was it here? Who said that? I thought it was over in...
It might have been in Dar es Salaam too.
Yeah, Dar es Salaam. I can't remember, but yeah. They got bottled water everywhere you go. I don't drink out the tap water in America, do we?
No.
I don't drink out the tap water in America. We already know what they've done to several places already in America to our people. Lead poisonings and all this other stuff in the water, so yeah.
I have a question.
Go
Yep.
ahead.
African history is not taught in American schools. Now that you're on the continent, what will you tell your friends in the States about Africa? Well,
What you know?
only what I know, which is there is water. We don't live in huts. Well, most of us don't live in huts. There are cars, skyscrapers, and as I have said in Nairobi, it's like America, or maybe America is like Africa. I don't know which way I'm supposed to say it, but that's my observation. I saw that it's a American teenagers' perspective. Well, most American teenagers aren't very educated on Africa at all. So for me, I feel like it's my African teenager perspective. And I know a lot more than other teenagers do about Africa, and I'm enjoying it. And some of my friends already responded, I thought Africa is supposed to be dirty and grimy, and my childhood is ruined. No, it got better because you realize that where you're coming from isn't a dust bucket or some desert that people are starving in. And it probably is better depending on who you are or where you're coming from.
Did we use the one visa in all the countries? No, we did not use the East African tourist visa because even though it covers Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, it doesn't
That was
cover
it.
one, it doesn't, I don't think it covers Tanzania.
It didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't cover Tanzania, and so we would have had to have gotten that one anyway. Another thing is, if you go outside of the country where you originally flew into, so say we flew into Kenya, but we wanted to leave out of another country, then it negates the East African tourist visa. So those were the two reasons. We knew we were going to be stepping into Tanzania, which is not part of that conference, and so that's why we just got individual visas. Obi Freedom Linton, did you already answer the question? How does your marriage handle the distant relationship once I go back to the U.S.? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We're gonna have a video on that in 2 days, I think. 2 days.
Have we seen any wild animals in that country? We saw the wild animals out at the Masai Mara when we specifically went to the safari, on the safari. But other than that, we saw a stray warthog out in Nairobi, but other than that, nothing.
Yeah, family, let me give y'all another look there. Just another look here if people want to see what's on the other side. We're just right outside right here. This is the Indian Ocean, just in the Bay Area. Now we see right here at the hotel. And beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful.
We've seen monkeys. I take that back. If you call them wild, I guess they're wild. We've seen monkeys. We went to the Jozani Forest in the southern portion of Zanzibar our last day there, the day before our last day there, and saw the red colobus monkey and the black monkey. So that was interesting.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the spice.
The Tangawizi Spice Farm.
What's your thoughts on that?
Very interesting. It was not only a spice farm, but we also got to see different fruits and try different fruits, because in Tanzania, jackfruit is everywhere. And we kept saying, we're going to try some, from one of the street vendors. But we never did. So when we went to the spice farm...
Y'all didn't, I did.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
So Serenity and I had an opportunity to try jackfruit, as well as, what else did we try? Grapefruit, mango,
Passion fruit, watermelon,
red bananas, green bananas.
green bananas.
And then the spices, they would take a leaf from the particular spice tree and crush it up and put it in our hands, and we would have to take the smell test to see if we could figure out what it was based on the smell that emanated from the leaf. And I was 1 out of 3. You were 2 out of 3, and Serenity, I think, was 1 out of 3, getting them correct. So that was fun. It was very educational to see how the different spices grow: nutmeg, clove, ginger, vanilla. So that was cool.
No, we didn't buy the spicy soap. We didn't buy the spicy soap. Yes, visiting a lot of things. This again too, family. We're just scratching the surface of really visiting, and we just want to share with you all just a small portion of what we are experiencing, so that you can just have a little bit more insight of another city, another country, and hopefully it's just hopefully it rewards you into making a decision to come visit. Yeah.
And interestingly, when we were in, I think it was Dar es Salaam, there's a street called Barack Obama. And it was interesting because it was in Tanzania rather than Kenya, which is where his father was from. And I don't think, at least this part of the trip, we're not going to go to the village where he's from, but yeah.
I ain't trying to go to see where that dude's from. and check this out, they don't like him, do they?
Mm-mm.
Each country we've been to, the Africans have been saying they do not like Obama. Now, sometimes you run across some of the guys who are guides, and they notice that you sound from the U.S. or whatever, and they like, Obama, Obama. And I'll be like, Obama, Obama. And they're like, huh? What? Like, oh yeah, we don't care nothing about no Obama. Then all of a sudden they were like, then I say that, what has he done for Africa? What has he done for blacks in America? He hasn't done nothing. Then I'm like, oh yeah. But for the most part, that's all we've heard. Because we were in Nairobi, they had his book for sale.
Yes,
It's
at
Nairobi
the mall. Mm-hmm.
And we were told that the Kenyans don't like Obama, which I don't blame them. Especially when he was trying to push the gay agenda. That's all he was concerned about, was the gay agenda. So I know that some people who are watching, love the Obamas. That's okay. I'm just saying, hey, saying my piece. Yeah, we are in Mombasa, Kenya. That's where we are currently right now. We will be taking the railway from Mombasa to Nairobi. How many hours is that ride?
Can't remember right off the top of my head.
5, 6, 7, 8 hours? I don't know. It's a long time.
I
I
think
know
it's
that.
around 6.
Yeah. Alrighty. True Justice wants us to show the view again for your son. Alrighty. Show the view again. Really, we should be down there, but I know the connection and all that well when I get further from the. So show the view again. Yep. Okay.
Giselle wants to know.
Oh, we got a shout out to one real quick.
Okay.
Thank you for your giving, Coach Donnie B. Appreciate it, Coach, for your giving. Alrighty.
Giselle says, based on your experience so far to all the places where you've been, which one would you say would be more suitable for dealing with allergies? Because she has allergies too. So where did you?
I'm gonna say, like, for instance, Tanzania doesn't. I didn't notice a lot of flowers, and have you noticed a lot of flowers and all that? Like in Rwanda, Rwanda had a lot of flowers and landscape and things there.
It's more so fruit trees
You mean fruit
that
tree?
are in Tanzania.
Yeah,
I can see
Tanzania.
flowers.
Yeah, so I can't say. It's just I know that the warmer the climate, and it's not a lot of flowery around, I think I do pretty good.
What about on the West Coast?
West, I had no allergy issues in Ghana. I had no allergy issues in Gambia or Senegal. I had none. Yeah, that's what we were told about Obama here is that, those we were asking, they think he should have did more for Africa. That's what they said, did more for Africa.
Can you comment on the relative cost expense of various goods and services?
Yeah, for Kenya, I'm finding, and we just got here in Mombasa. All right, the taxi rides, okay? It seems like the tuk-tuks, which are the small vehicles, if you watched the previous video that we just did before this one, those are a lot cheaper. You could scoot around town 5-8 miles out and pay $2. Don't want to mess with no taxis. They're gonna get you. They are going to get you. But as far as food's concerned, I'm gonna say the food might be a couple dollars cheaper in America, but it costs. Today what we spent on the lunch. It was
I didn't see the bill.
it was $29 for lunch. So it's right in there as far as the cost of food, eating at a restaurant. Of course now, okay, where we ate was more, I would think that was more in a higher income bracket. Even though I asked a local, where would you take your girlfriend? Where do you go? Where does the locals go for good Swahili food? And it was pizza, hot hamburgers, some Indian dishes, a couple of Italian dishes, and was no traditional, what I would call African dishes. So we were definitely in the wrong place, because I know you can get the food way cheaper than that. That's why I like to be with the locals, look down at locals. Chuck Higgins, we thank you again for your giving. You said, which African country's architecture do you prefer the most? Ooh, that's a good question.
Because because I love looking at architecture.
Yeah.
Zanzibar had some incredible architecture in Stone Town. Rwanda had some really cool, Kigali had some really cool buildings downtown. Where did we just leave? Dar es Salaam. Some of the skyscrapers in the three main cities, Nairobi, Kigali, and Dar es Salaam, all had some really neat architecture. What do you think?
I don't know. I really haven't paid attention to much of the architecture like you do. So I looked more into the housing, the modern day housing that they're building. And I would say Rwanda, I thought, stood out with just how their architecture in the residential building and how they were doing it. So, yeah.
Did we have any electricity problems while here?
No. But then there again, we have one, but then it was a switch that turned off and they had to turn back on the meter or something in the hotel room. That was like 5 minutes. But as far as a blackout, or what they would call it, what they call it, no, the name that you like learned out from Steve forget the name of it, but we haven't experienced any. And most people, we've asked though, I've asked that last night for here in the Mombasa area, and it's like, it depends on where you live, but for the most part, they're getting better because they're building new grids in different areas. So in Mombasa, they're doing a lot of building, a lot of road construction, and we find that in most of the African countries we're going to. A lot of development, new roads, buildings, airports that they're doing. And we know that here on the East, you know, the Chinaman has given a lot of loans to the African countries, which we talked about to Aloma today, or our guide today, about that, about these loans and about if they default on the loans that they lose like the ports or lose power plants or stuff like that. And I said, you know, when you really think about it, because of the shutdown of the world, how much effect does that have on Africa when you depend sometimes on either tourism or imports that are not coming in and you're not making the money? Is it really maybe something that they're doing to cause countries to collapse intentionally? Are they up to something? I said that's a question that needs to be answered. When I told him that, he said, because if you're not bringing in the money that you should and you can't pay these Orientals back, then you default. That whatever that loan was for becomes theirs. But I like what Tanzania has done. We ain't stopping nothing. We're doing business as usual. Love it. Move the camera. Oh.
Can't see her.
Oh, sorry. I don't know where.
Someone said we should visit Fort Jesus.
We've already visited Fort Jesus.
Today we went.
Yeah, we went today, visited Fort Jesus. I thought it was like every other place, and it's not identical, but the story, of course, when it comes to slavery and, you know, the atrocities, all of what transpired over the years back then, you know.
Giselle, we're in Mombasa.
Obi Freedom
higher up
Linton. Oh,
in
sorry.
the comments.
Obi Freedom Linton. He said, "Good job, Serenity. You should get paid for that." Laughing out loud. Well, hey, Obi, we're waiting on you to send her payment for that. It's funny, we laugh when people have these ideas and things, and it's like, okay, well, hey, send the contribution, whatever. Yeah. When people say, you ought to leave them a donation, you ought to go ahead and give them a big tip, you ought to go into hey, ride along this train with us then. righty. Did you see the beach property for sale in Zanzibar? Yeah. Down in Fumba, I did. We were out there, like what I see. We're gonna purchase a piece of property there on Fumba. I will do a video. I already asked, can I, next time I come back out there to acquire that property, that could I videotape and show you all the whole community thing that they're building out there? And the woman said, yes, I can do that. So yes, Fumba, check it out. It's a community they're building. Actually, it's a project that was done by the oh, hey, Obi.
I got paid.
You got paid, yeah. Yeah, he got ha ha ha. All right, so yeah.
Thank you for your donation.
Yeah. So Fumba's project actually is being built by the Germans that bought all that land on the coral, the old coral, and built communities out there. Now there's another community out there called the Soul. You can check that out, or I will put the links in the description, so y'all can go to that and then got the information, how much it costs, the projects that's going on. But those are the two locations that they will allow foreigners to come and purchase either land or property. From what I understand, in Tanzania, you can't purchase land if you are a foreigner. You know, you have to do, and actually the woman said, there are those who tried to do partnerships with some of the locals, but it sometimes don't turn out well, and that's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And if you try to go to the law,
Doesn't do any good.
it does no good because you wasn't supposed to do it in the first place. So don't fall into that trap trying to go ahead and do some business deal with the local on purchase some of their land. When you're a foreigner, you can't. But these two locations, Fumba and the Seoul location, foreigners can purchase land or buy property. I will put that in the description, please. Yes.
Serenity, do you feel that you could possibly find better friendships in Africa than in the U.S.? And are you excited about one day living on the continent full time? People are people wherever you go. So, I mean, the teenagers I've met in Africa, they remind me of the same teenagers back in America, same mindset, but different living areas. I'm not sure if I'm going to be living in Africa full time, so I'm just going with the flow for now.
Yeah.
Debbie Jefferson asked me if I will have room in my suitcase or will I have to pay extra. Very good question. So I had always heard that,
That you have room. Say it again.
will I have room in my suitcase?
For what?
Or will I have to,
For anything.
for anything?
Oh.
She won't.
But no, I will.
She won't.
I thought she said she wanted to jump in your suitcase and carry it.
Come back.
Yeah.
So I'd always heard people say that, you know, when you go visit another country, take an empty suitcase because you'll want to fill it up with things from there. I am taking a few things back home, but then one thing that I brought, just in case, I brought some food. And so I've eaten most of that food. So that will not be a weight in my suitcase anymore. And then I'm leaving some things with my husband, so I won't have to worry about that. So it should be an even Steven, so to speak, with what I am not taking and what I am taking. So hopefully I will not have to pay extra.
Are the new house constructions all brick, or did you see some with treated wood? Most houses are built with concrete. So it'd be the center block, and then they come back and smooth over with concrete. Very few houses we've seen with what we're accustomed to seeing brick, but I've seen a couple of houses in, I would say a handful of houses in Rwanda that were brick, that we're accustomed to seeing, exterior brick houses.
Honesty Israel asked about the fruit. We didn't say how the fruit tasted.
Okay. Thanks, Almani Saluku, for your giving. Appreciate you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What did we think about the fruit?
The fruit here?
Yeah. So, we also
Yeah.
tried pineapple. Pineapple
That
is
different.
Pineapple is everywhere here. Everywhere. We've had it in all three of the countries where we've been, and the pineapple is really, really good. Really good.
I'm gonna have to say that Africans eat more fruit than vegetables.
Definitely.
True.
Definitely.
Eats way more fruit than vegetables. It's grown. I mean, trees are everywhere,
Yeah.
and they sell them everywhere.
Yeah. Fruit is, with breakfast, fruit is the dessert. Oftentimes on the menu, it would say dessert, and it would be fruit. How did the fruit taste to you?
It's good. It's
It's okay. More natural, definitely.
Yeah, Jerry, Rafiki. Yeah, Tanzania got it right 100% with how they handle COVID. Bowled by Magufuli, most definitely. In Nairobi, people eat more vegetables, Andrew says. Okay, all right.
But you know what? Because I like vegetables. In Nairobi, I had just mentioned that last night. Nairobi was where we had more vegetables.
Where we had more vegetables,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Andrew. Yeah. On point. Francis Asapaka. Hi. Asapope. Hi. I'm sorry. I speak English. That's my problem. Thank you for your giving. Appreciate you.
Where did we find the friendliest people? People are people.
People are
You have
people.
friendly people
Everywhere.
everywhere. There were friendly people in Nairobi, Kigali.
Tanzania.
Mhm.
My favorite spot, well, I don't have favorites, is Zanzibar. That was my,
Why Zanzibar your favorite?
because like they were just, I mean, everyone can be pleasant depending on who they are, but the most area with pleasant people, like the hotel people were really nice. Like they gave me dap and all that stuff. Like it was
Yeah, we're
nice.
going to talk about the differences in the countries, yeah, when it comes to the people, you know. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Did you find, Anne Marie, did you find that Africans are troubled with the same medical conditions as black folks in the West? We don't know all about the health issues here. We did say there's probably little to no diabetes because their sweets aren't really sweets. And they're not sweet eating folks, but carbohydrates though, starch foods, we noticed rice and chips, or they call which we call fries. Potatoes is huge here, but they don't eat in a lot. They don't eat it as much that you're going to find like they do over in Ghana or the east of Africa. West of Africa. West of Africa, they eat the rice like ooh. It amazes me how much rice they eat over there. But yeah.
What is the best meal we've eaten since traveling? And this is for all three of us.
I'm not into best. I'm not into best.
Okay, pick one.
I can't pick one.
Okay.
Nothing stands out to me.
I like the hamburgers.
She's had hamburgers every place
Every
we've been.
place I've gone, I had a hamburger.
Appleweed Corporation, thank you for giving. Peace and blessings, family, Appleweed says. Peace and blessings to you.
Which country has the best and most affordable medical facilities for all the family and for those who are up in age?
We haven't gotten into that there again, family, because, you know, we're doing a family touring around, so we haven't gotten to the crux of the business side of the country. I'm going to do all that. That's why I'm going to be remaining in Nairobi for about 3 weeks. I will then also, I'm going to be set up with African Traveler. African Traveler, we connected. So look for that from the African Traveler. We'll be connecting. And then I'm going to come back down here to Mombasa again. I've connected with some folks here. I'm supposed to be introduced to a community of African Americans, I think, up in Nairobi. So anyway, I'll be spending some time here. I got a visa that lasts for 3 months, so I got 2 months left on it. And I might be, like I say, it might be here about a month or so. I might push it even further, no rush. And then I'll head back over to Tanzania. I'll find me an apartment. I'll look around. I will be going over to Zanzibar. We'll be going to go ahead and try to acquire some property there and move on forward, you know.
Giselle, you mentioned when picking a place to live permanently, what's the main focus that will have you make the decision? Like, for example, health reasons. I think there's a lot to consider. Transportation, safety, medical facilities, recreation. Yeah, there's a lot to consider.
Thank you, Afrogenesis, for your contribute. You said Serenity for her contribution. That's what I said to the material. Thank you. Someone asked, when I get older, are you going to work in Africa? I don't know. I'm going with the flow.
But now that she has visited the motherland, it will definitely give her something to consider.
Maybe.
Narky Tori, man, you man, hey, you funny dude, you funny. You know, diabetes is not a disease; it's a symptom of insulin resistance. You know, I appreciate the knowledge that you love to share, but keep in mind that all knowledge is not necessarily factual. Okay, you tell me then, if diabetes is not a disease, a dis-ease. If you feel eased and not a dis-ease and having your limbs swole up, cut off, and that's not a dis-ease, then please, I think you need to rethink what you're saying. It's a symptom of insulin resistance. Okay, we're with. But appreciate your information. I know, you know, we had did some back and forth on some information, but the love of information we need to share, okay, keep in mind, everybody has their own. They have their own, bro. They have their own. So much love to you. Much love.
Were you able to find out about the training process that Tanzania and Rwanda have going on?
That the what?
The train. What's going on with the train?
No, we probably find out tomorrow because we gotta go get tickets for it. Shirley Greer, I just want to say thank you, Go Black family, for taking the time out of your vacation to answer all of our questions. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We appreciate your watching. What's the question?
Do you ground trader? Do you? No, I like this question. Do you plan to do polygamy once you settle in Africa, and will your wife allow you to do so?
Okay.
Well, what is your response? Let me let her respond first.
I am all the wife he needs.
Period.
And your response?
First, okay, my wife can't allow me to do anything, you know, and that's just the truth of the matter. You know, allowing somebody to do something means then that you have the power to stop them from doing something. And let me share this with you all, okay? No, I do not need another wife. One wife is good enough for me. She's all I need. But let me say this right here. When it comes to, you know, polygamy and having other partners and stuff like that, you know, to each his own. When I was young, I thought the more was the merrier. But I found out the more there is, the more problems you have. I'm at a point in time that I'm not trying to have more headaches. Not saying my wife is a headache, but not to say that, but you know what, to be real and honest though, it takes work in a marriage. We don't agree to a lot of things. we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things at times, but we figure out how we can keep a balance in respecting one another, you know. And so, no, I don't have any interest of trying to marry another. Check my video out that I did an interview with a sister from America who's married to an African. She's the second wife, and he himself says, don't do it. You're stretched thin. I'm not trying to be stretched to share quality time on both sides. Whatever you do for one, you got to equally do for another. I'm not trying to do that. That right there is just too much work. And so I'm past that time. Yeah. Thanks again. It's that time. Do you have access to farm fresh vegetables daily in Tanzania? You know, you say farm fresh vegetables. I want to do a video on where the food is coming from. Because we do know food comes from around the world. And we think because it's sold on in markets and people have them, that they're fresh. But what does fresh mean? And what makes it not fresh? How old should it be? How long is it should stay? I don't know. But I do know there are some local foods that they have, but there are foods that are also shipped from around the globe. But I'm really interested to find out that. All right, I guess this is Kaya Luzia. Please consider coming to South Africa on your next trip. Don't be discouraged by the white presence in South Africa. We are working on things you mentioned. Oh yeah, you know, it's one of those things is that, you know, I'm not ready yet to because I'm still dealing with some unhealed wounds, I guess, of when I'm, you know, seeing more of the white people. I'm still trying to deal. That's why I did a video on don't blame the white man, it's you. So that I just enjoy being around us for right now. And so until I'm ready and prepared, then I might make that trip. But until then, I'm absorbing all the black folks, all the Africans that I can, because I'm loving it. I'm loving just seeing us do all things. I'm loving it. One more second. Yaniston 7, thank you for giving. Watching with great interest. Hey, appreciate that. Appreciate that.
You got one?
Do you have bad reactions to mosquitoes, and which country so far has troubled you the most?
That is definitely a Serenity question.
They probably have 1 or 2 bites. I probably have like 20. And Kenya, Nairobi was a big place for me.
They had a party on her. They saw fresh young blood.
They
I
didn't
had a
want that
party.
old crusty.
I'm gonna say, Rhonda. I saw more mosquitoes when I first got there. In Rwanda.
For me, it was Kenya and Tanzania.
How do we deal with the prayer calls several times a day? I got used to it. I look at it as part of the cultural experience. I no longer wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and hear them.
You guys woke up?
I'll say this right
I
here.
did.
We're not in the local community, so they haven't experienced really being in a Muslim community where you can hear it. I mean, very loud, and you know, several times out the day, and then wee mornings. I think 4 o'clock. I think it is. It depends on what country you're in. But it takes getting used to, you know, on that. And I know staying with my family who are Muslim in Ghana, and they get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know they move around, and you hear and all that right there, and then they go into their prayer and do what they start their day off at that time. And it takes a little getting used to. It does.
Phyllis True Faith Burrell. I am a single 70-year life woman of color. I I would like to come to Africa. Income is Arizona State Government Retirement and Medicare. I'm okay in America month to month. What income do you suggest?
She's on a what? Read that again. Read that one more time. I'm sorry.
I am a single 70-year life woman of color.
Yeah.
I would like to come to Africa. Income is Arizona State Government Retirement and Medicare. I'm okay in America month to month. What income do you suggest?
I can't suggest any income because we just don't know your spending habits, your budgeting, don't know how much it is that you would need to live off of. But I will say this right here. If you are making more than $1,000, go to Ghana. If you're bringing in more than $1,000 a month, you can go to Ghana. You could go to Rwanda. You know, we had I did an interview with a brother there, Zayd, who $250 a month in his apartment. You can practically go to any country. Tanzania, if you go to Tanzania, they will give you a 2-year visa because you have a residual income coming in. As long as you can show that you have monthly income coming in, they will give you a 2-year. You know, if I like to say this to people right here, every place that I've been to have all levels of income. You can find the poorer side of town, and you can find a richer part of town, and you can find in between, and wherever you can fit in. You can go any country that you want to. You will find a place that you can live and they can afford. But I don't know your lifestyle and what you're used to. Where I would live, you know, may not be conducive to you. And where you live, the same, vice versa. But you can find any place in any country to fit what you're making, I would say. I know there are some sisters there in Ghana. They rented out a 5-bedroom house. They're all paying $250 a month each to have their own room and share the whole house. They left America off the whim, and they're doing it. And they are in their 60s. They're in their 60s. You know, but they chose to get this big grand house and did it as a group. I think it's 3-4 women and 1 guy or something like that. So you can get in and fit in anywhere.
What about the African Love Connection?
The African Love Connection. I know because you know I'm on this thing here. Once I settle down, then we'll go ahead and we can get into it. Because just me on the run, it was very hard for me to find those who were interested in doing it and then trying to find a venue. Now, I've had a venue in a couple places, but then the people. And so that was the challenging part. But it's still in the works.
Where do you see yourself possibly living, Serenity, if you could choose where to live in Africa?
You've never been to the country? Out of the 3 that you've been to, which one?
Out of the 3 that I've been to, Zanzibar. I like that place. It's more like, it gives me more young vibes than old. But I mean, I haven't really seen much old people anyway.
When we were down in Fumba.
Hold on a second, let me get a shout out real quick,
Okay.
please. All right, shout out, thank you for DC Cavalier for your giving. It says, just a small token to show appreciation to you, your wife, and your daughter, and sharing your experiences and thoughts. Very informational. Thank you very much, Lucia.
Thank you. When we were in Fumba, Serenity stood right there on the edge of the ocean, and she looked out and she said, I could live here. That wasn't the first time she had said she could live here. She said that when we were, I think, in Kigali too. So.
Yeah, you know, I think well, Zanzibar, she had an issue too. She had this thing of, you know, the guys approaching her.
Oh.
And then the older guy asked her mom, could he marry her? And so she felt a little bit off. And then, you know, we were out there a day when everybody was out there on the waterfront, and guys were diving off the walls, and there was a lot of youth around. And I think she really liked seeing just all the young ladies and young men out there, to where she felt that connection.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that when it comes to our thing tonight. We'll talk about that further. Yeah.
Awkward.
How do you juggle schooling for your daughter and traveling at the same time? So we got here December the 10th. And so she missed hybrid schooling for 1 week. But arrangements were made with her teachers that she would do the work, but because of the time difference being 8 hours, she would be, off a little bit with submitting her assignments. So she just wasn't in class, but she did all of her work. And now she's on the winter break. So the reason we're leaving when we're leaving is so that she'll be able to get back in school for the next semester.
AJ Dixon, I have 3 active children. Which country is comparable to the States when it comes to extracurriculum activities like league sports, gymnastics, karate classes, and etc.? We saw a lot of youth and everything out over in Kenya. I'm sorry, not Kenya, but over in Tanzania and Zanzibar area we did.
And Dar es Salaam.
In Dar es Salaam. Soccer fields were covered with kids playing. But we did take note. We didn't see a lot of young girls out playing.
Right.
There again, it's a majority Muslim country. So we saw more of the young boys out playing, running around, and all that there. But we did see the girls on the beaches having fun, the little girls and the boys on the beaches having fun. But as far as sports, we just saw the boys out.
It might be, though, that the girls have the same opportunities, but they're just not outside, because since they have to be, more modest and covered, their activities might be more indoors. Maybe, not sure.
Yeah. And then let me say this too, that we thought, this is just our opinion, we'll get into it tonight. I don't want to go too far, because we'll get into that tonight about Tanzania. Yeah. Yeah.
Any concerns on the justice systems in any of the countries?
Yes. I wish they would hamper down on the police. I see the police, and this is by the locals, here in Kenya and there in Tanzania, that they are just too much. I had a conversation with a police officer. I'm going to get into that tonight. But I wish they would change up this corruption with the police officers. The people don't like it, and I don't think it's fair. We'll get into that conversation tonight. We have 2 more minutes, family. 2 more minutes to ask questions, and then we have to go get rested up, go eat dinner, and then we will share our opinions tonight about Tanzania.
You want to show the view one more time?
Sure, we'll show the view one more time, and there'll be more views to be seen too, because this is really, I don't even think this is really as the greatest a view that we can really see on the Indian Ocean. When we get down to the beach tomorrow, most definitely we'll be showing that. I'll do some interior shots too as well. I got other footage that I record, but I can't even release that until I get my computer in functioning order. Because when I thought I had it fixed, which it is fixed, I'm still having some issues. And the computer that my wife had brought back from the States, I'm returning that too. So that right there is an issue, but so I will have my good computer come February. So, all right, any other questions? Hey, thank you, SP. To Serenity, big up. Yourself. Thank you for giving. We'd like to say thank you to Ayivi TV. Go Black to Africa Tours, please. Hey, I tell you, if I could get my kids on board, I would do it. I burnt that flame out doing businesses like that some years ago. And I worked hard all those years, and it's like, I just do not have that in me, you know, to want to, you know, work that type of business. Real estate is something that I find that's very easy. It's very low maintenance. It's very where you can, you know, reap from your money and get a good return on your investment without having to do a lot of work. And so if I can get the kids involved, man, I got so many different business ideas, you know, that it will, you know, it will work. So appreciate it.
What is
Two more questions.
What is your email?
Oh, goblack2africa@gmail.com. And I think I've been doing a good job at answering all the emails that come in. And but I ask for you all that sometimes I just give a straight answer. It's not going to be long drawn out. I get some emails that are like, some people just 2 pages long. Sometimes I don't have the time to read it all. You know, my time is limited in doing other things. But if you can keep it short, sweet, I can answer, you know, down to 1 or 2 questions. I can answer those. But I cannot, I don't have the time to get into a lot of questions and, you know, respond in that way. Because I want to help each and every person out here who has the love to want to visit Africa or move. But I ask you got to do your homework too. You got to do those easy questions that you answer me. You have to go ahead and do the research yourself.
Do all the countries have different currency?
Yes, for the most part. Not 54 total different currencies, I guess, but I think because you have some that have shillings, but they make their country shillings. You have those that have yeah, you have different ones. Francs, CDs. You have those have the. So yeah, each country has their own currency. I think. I'm not sure the French countries, 13 French countries on the west that deal with their francs. I don't know if there are some that you could use in other countries. I don't know. All right, family. That was the last of the questions. We thank you all for it. Every last one of your questions and your positive comments.
Thank you
your
very
concerns, even some of your suggestions.
Yes, we appreciate the suggestions.
Yes, we appreciate that. For those who financially was able to give, we thank you all too. Didn't have to do it, even though we didn't even ask, but there are those who love to just give and support. Some people have told us they just love just giving because we're living a dream. They're living their dream through us. And so we just thank y'all for watching. Like I said, I've always just, when I started the YouTube channel, all I want to do is change one life. That's all I wanted. Said, give me one, hey, I'll be happy. And, you know, in just 3 months, 21,000 subscribers so far, just in 3 months. It's unbelievable. And so I just thank you all for just tuning in and wanting to be a part of what I'm a part of. And so let's just keep it like we're doing it. Appreciate each and every one. Much love. Y'all enjoy y'all day. Until 4 hours from 3.5 hours from now, we'll be back. And so this is your man. This is your
Whoa, man.
and this is your young woman.
Period.
Go black to Africa. All righty.